On December 4th, 2025, Min Hee-jin appeared on a YouTube live stream hosted by a channel called 장르만 여의도, a channel with more than 486,000 subscribers, where they talk about a lot of different, usually political issues. And she delivered a series of claims that quickly set off another wave of criticism. Viewers pointed out the inconsistencies with her courtroom testimony and the way she framed herself as the sole victim, and her tendency to rely on emotional arguments instead of addressing the evidence already admitted in court. I'm gonna read these comments, but let me read you a few of them right here. Even scammers or murderers can defend themselves if all they do is insist on their own story. It's all lies. She's unbelievably shameless. Just go to jail already. That kind of woman thrives on mudslinging. The only way to shut her down is to smack her with the actual court ruling. She cannot go head to head with that, which is why she avoids it. LOL. Do you even have a conscience? Honestly, I want to ask. You came all the way here just to say you are frustrated and wronged? Please, you lured those young girls, made a ton of money, and now you're still out here talking, and contracts aren't like toys or for fun. The whole situation is full of people who have lost their minds. Stop blaming the media. The media isn't here to protect you. This is truly disgusting. Another person wrote, you said you stayed quiet for a year and a half? LOL, she's really strange. It's simple. The KCulture messages were admitted as evidence by the court. Min Hee-jin keeps saying we need to look at the context, like 맥락, before and after. But if she really wants to fight a public opinion battle like this, she should just release the full messages and explain the context she claims exists. That's the only way she would have even the slightest chance of turning public opinion, if she actually can, that is. Ooh. 3 more comments before we move on. She's hopeless, the ultimate example of rules for you, not for me. 내로남불. It works for me, but not for you. That mindset. Another comment. She didn't even mention the word new jeans. So she's abandoned them too? It's just money, money, money for her. Last one. She keeps saying completely nonsensical things with so much confidence, as if they are true. LOL. Yeah, so these are the comments that people wrote in response to this video. So they had a 3-hour live stream today on December 4th. Total of 3.5 hours. And Min Hee-jin spoke for 1 hour. She was one of the guests. And then they converted it into a separate video. And these were the comments that I saw in the comment section. Now, I will read you an article summarizing what happened and what they talked about. Did I watch the whole video? Watch the whole live stream? No. Because at this point, I just could not stand her way of talking. I wasn't able to stand it the first time she spoke, last year, first conference. It was physically painful to listen. So I'll say that up front. Sorry about that. But let me read you an article titled, Min Hee-jin speaks out after being asked, do you feel sorry toward new jeans? Let's see what she said. Former ADOR CEO Min Hee-jin delivered sharp comments about the series of events involving new jeans, saying the responsibility lies, check this out, 100% with HYBE. Min Hee-jin appeared on the YouTube channel 장르만 여의도 on December 4th and shared her position regarding the group. When asked whether she felt any remorse toward new jeans, Min Hee-jin answered, HYBE should be far more apologetic to new jeans. She continued, on April 22nd, 2024, they painted us as traitors and launched a media campaign. There were more than 1,700 related articles. When something feels unjust, raising objections is a basic right and a matter of human dignity. Addressing the recent confusion surrounding the members' return, she said a civil case is not meant to determine who is right or wrong. It deals with damages, so it makes no sense to divide the members into groups of 2 and 3. I don't understand why they keep bringing up these 3 separately as if there is some issue. Now, after hearing her talk about this, the 2 genes versus 3 genes, and the way she's trying to say that HYBE should have accepted or ADOR should have accepted the 3 genes right away. People are starting to say that, oh, maybe the Trojan horse theory was correct. We'll have to see. But yeah, the way she keeps insisting this is kind of interesting. Addressing the recent confusion surrounding the members' return. Oh, we already said that. When the host asked whether this was HYBE's decision or a genuine split among the members, Min Hee-jin replied, as far as I know, even the decision on whether to appeal was coordinated on the same date, rejecting interpretations that the members' intentions had diverged. In response to the host's explanation that 2 members conveyed their intent to return through the company, while 3 did so through a law firm. So this is what the host pointed out. I think the host at least did some prior research. So he was pointing things out. And she said in response, there were also reports saying they contacted ADOR directly. If the priority is the girls, you shouldn't frame things in a way that divides them. She added, if 3 members express their wish to return, then just accept it. Why question their sincerity or cast suspicion? That only worsens the confusion for fans, Min Hee-jin said. If you care about the kids, adults shouldn't use language that encourages conflict. I'm upset and frustrated that things were allowed to reach this point. Now, you can see why these commenters, why they wrote such harsh comments, right? The way she's, framing things. When asked who she believes is responsible for the current situation, Min Hee-jin answered, from where I stand, it is 100% HYBE's responsibility. And then the end of the article is basically a summary of what has happened before in terms of the court battles. Now that was one article, and let me read you a second one. So I will read you 3 articles in total. This was the first one, here's the second one, and here's the third one. Third one is the most critical, and it lists 8 points where she was being inconsistent, okay? And they refute. The second one is relatively, I guess, more critical compared to the first one. So let me read you this. Min Hee-jin resumes her public opinion battle outside the courtroom. HYBE, the media, and public sentiment all treated as adversaries, trapped in her own self-verification. Conspiracy theories instead of responsibility, emotional appeals instead of explanations. And by the way, while she was talking, during the live stream, I saw some media articles coming out in real time with the headlines that amplify what she says, right? So very favorable for her. And one of them being, of course, Lee Jung-gu from Hangyeole. And interesting how he decided to make this as a headline. Min Hee-jin, the next group I'm going to make is going to be a boy group. I was witch hunted due to HYBE's media play, witch hunt, and a boy group. Well, let's see how well she's actually. No. Let me read you this. Published on December 4th by TV Daily journalist Kim Jin-ha. Former ADOR CEO Min Hee-jin appeared on a live broadcast of the YouTube channel 장르만 여의도, where she spoke at length about her 26 billion won put option lawsuit against HYBE, the Nugent's dispute, and the controversy surrounding her political views and alleged workplace harassment. But rather than giving clear answers to the core issues, observers note that she again leaned heavily on claims such as, I don't remember, the media is distorting the facts, and I'm the victim of an organized PR operation, effectively turning the appearance into another round of her ongoing public opinion war. But unfortunately, I don't think the public opinion war worked this time. During her November 27th hearing at the Seoul Central District Court Civil Division 31st, Min Hee-jin responded to more than half the questions with I don't know or I don't remember, avoiding verification of key facts. On the broadcast, she again insisted that even though the court has stenographic records and audio, the media is misreporting. Yet, when it came to issues that could cast her in a negative light, she focused on emotional appeals rather than presenting concrete evidence. The gap between the two sides remains wide on the key issue of ADOR's put option. Min Hee-jin repeated her earlier position that she is entitled to roughly 25.6 billion won based on ADOR's 2022 to 2023 performance, stressing that during the contract period, ADOR generated the highest profit among all HYBE affiliates. But regarding HYBE's argument, by the way, what you just read is going to be refuted by the third article right here. So hang in there. But regarding the HYBE's argument that the contract was terminated because she damaged the company's trust, she offered only her own interpretation that this was business trust, not trust in my entire character. She did not address the specific actions at the center of the tampering allegations or the management dispute. Instead, she argued the timing is suspicious, and the tampering allegation came only after the breach of trust complaint resulted in no charges. As for the emails, investor contacts, and alleged attempts to sway internal staff cited by HYBE, she dismissed them as not even legal terms and just a frame. She also pushed back against the court's recent remarks in the New Jeans contract dispute decision that indirectly referenced her attempts at independence. Yeah, the court document mentioned her name more than 100 times. Min Hee-jin argued that it wasn't my trial, yet they brought it in, saying she had no chance to counter those points. Well, your lawyers were basically Eugen's lawyers. So I'm pretty sure they were making your arguments on behalf of you at the trial, the legal battle between Eugen's and ADOR. Did I say you? I meant she. Sorry. The article says, she also pushed back against the court's recent remarks in the New Jeans contract dispute decision. Yeah, I just read that. No, did I read that? That indirectly referenced her attempts at independence. Yeah, I just read that. On accusations that she forced political views on staff or engaged in workplace bullying. Yeah, this was a recent controversy. Min Hee-jin insisted, I have never called an employee in and lectured them about politics for 3 hours, and said KCulture messages from 2020 were distorted. Distorted. But critics note that parts of these allegations have already been contested through court documents and testimony, and her explanations, such as the speaker is unclear or the messages predate the company's founding, do little to dispel doubts. Particularly telling was her comment that she does not hide her political beliefs, while simultaneously insisting she never pressured staff, which came across as an attempt to soften the impact of her own statements. Yeah, it seems like, based on one of the subtitles, yeah, here we go. It's the subtitle, not the subtitle. The caption or the thumbnail text says that, by nature, I cannot be a conservative. Because one of the allegations is that she grilled one of her employees or some of her employees for voting for Democratic. And people are saying that, wow, okay, she's I mean, you could be conservative, you could be liberal, doesn't matter. But the fact that she grilled her own staff and employees for their political views, that's wrong. But apparently, during the live stream, she said, by nature, I cannot be a conservative and I support the Democratic Party, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so that's pretty pathetic. Back to the second article. She also directed criticism toward the media and public sentiment. Let me guess why. Because people are no longer siding with her. All right, let's see. Min Hee-jin claimed HYBE has an organized PR management system, and I don't. Really? You don't? Huh. I guess what happened to your contract with McCall Consulting Firm? Are they still working for you? Or are they no longer working for you? Who knows? She says, headlines are intentionally framed to attack me, positioning herself as a victim of media power. However, critics point out that she herself led a multi-hour press conference last April that heavily shaped public opinion, making her one of the key drivers of the framing she now denounces. Yeah, and that has been the pattern. A lot of things that she says, if not all of them, are basically her own self-introduction, describing her own characters and behaviors. And even though she's saying that, like, she's criticizing the media, well, don't you worry, because Lee Jung-gu is still with you from Hungary. Moving on. Where are we? On the issue of the New Jeans members' return. Yeah, so this is something that the first article already talked about. Let's see how this one describes. She used strong language toward HYBE, saying the company was splitting them apart, 갈라치기, and treating them as if ostracizing someone, 왕따시키듯. She argued, if the court ordered their return, HYBE should accept it cleanly. Well, it's not, well, first of all, it's not like the court ordered them to return. The court basically said that they've been part of ADOR all along. I mean, what they said is that the contract is the contract. So it's New Jeans members who left, right? And you know what I'm saying? The court basically verified the contract, acknowledged that contract was standing all along, so that was kind of a weird way to phrase it, but let's see. She argued, if the court ordered their return, HYBE should accept it cleanly, but she offered no response to criticism that she had been projecting messages of tight unity with the members since the early stages of the dispute, which placed them directly in the center of a public conflict. Instead, she again concluded that the situation was 100% HYBE's fault. Her manner of rebuttal, relying solely on articles she personally read, also raised eyebrows. When reporter Chae Yun-kyung, one of the hosts or one of the people who participated in the live stream, when that person summarized that two members conveyed their intent to return through ADOR, and three did so through a law firm, and ADOR said it needed to confirm the three members' intentions, Min Hee-jin countered, most articles say that, but the one I saw didn't. Oh, the one I saw didn't. Maybe Lee Jung-gu? This approach, judging factual matters through the lens of the article I saw, drew further criticism. Regarding her newly established company, OK Records, she said, it's only registered on paper. There is no real operation yet, and added that investment inquiries are many. I wonder. She then said she found the public disclosure of the corporate registration frightening. However, observers note that Under Korean commercial law, corporate registration information is publicly accessible by default, making her claims of leaks or orchestrated exposure appear exaggerated. Ultimately, Min Hee-jin's repeated theme throughout the broadcast was that I did nothing wrong. All the wrongdoing lies with the other side and with the media. She even described the lawsuit as a matter of pride, not money, despite the fact that the dispute centers on hundreds of billions of Korean won and the validity of a commercial contract. Her tendency to mix emotion with legal arguments drew criticism for obscuring the actual issues at stake. Near the end of the broadcast, Min Hee-jin said she hopes to create a new management model and wants to debut a boy group next, hinting at future plans. But she is still embroiled in multiple civil and criminal lawsuits against HYBE, and the new jeans dispute remains unresolved. Inside and outside the industry, many people say the priority now should be addressing legal responsibilities and untangling the existing dispute before presenting any new vision. Yep. So that's what she said. Now let's hear some how this article refuted some of Min Hee-jin's arguments or her claims. Fact-checking Min Hee-jin's claims, who said one of the things that she said was, I didn't make any money at HYBE, despite being number 2 on the salary ranking. Reported by Kim Ji-hyun. She said, so Min Hee-jin said, I didn't make any money at HYBE. I'm the one who earned the most for them. HYBE's audit was illegal. The breach of trust allegation is not an issue. These were some of the statements made by former ADOR CEO Min Hee-jin during her appearance on the YouTube channel 장르만 여의도 on December 4th, as she continues her dispute with HYBE over a put option right worth 25.6 billion won. The short answer, several of these claims are not true. Below is a fact check of her comments. Number 1, I didn't make any money at HYBE. Fact, Min Hee-jin ranked number 2 in the entire entertainment industry in annual compensation. During her time at ADOR, Min Hee-jin received 2.7 billion won in total compensation in 2024, including incentives. According to the Big Four entertainment company reports for that year, and of course, Big Four refers to HYBE, SM, JYP, and YG, right? The highest paid figure in the industry, in the entire industry, was JYP's founder and producer, Park Jin-young, at 3.2 billion won. JYP, Park Jin-young, this guy. So he was number 1 that year, 2024. Now, YG's Yang Hyun-seok earned 2.61 billion won. HYBE's former CEO Park Ji-won received 2.33 billion won. YG, Yang Hyun-seok. So, Min Hee-jin earned more than this guy. And HYBE Park Ji-won, the former CEO. Yeah, she earned more than this guy. And HYBE chairman Bang Si-hyuk, the article says, did not take a salary, but received 988 million won in incentives. But still, she earned more than him and Bang. Yeah, him and Bang has been receiving no salary, even though he's a chairman of HYBE, just incentives. So Min Hee-jin ranked 2nd. Check this out, only 13 executives in the entire entertainment sector earned more than 500 million won that year. Min Hee-jin was paid at the level of or higher than many company founders. Number 2, I earned HYBE the most revenue. Fact, ADOR ranked 3rd within HYBE labels. ADOR's revenue in 2023 and 24 was 110.3 billion won and 111.2 billion won, respectively. HYBE's flagship label, Big Hit Music, home of BTS, earned 552.3 billion won in 2023 and around 350.8 billion won in 2024 when all BTS members were serving in the military. Second place was Pledis, home to 17, at 327.2 billion won and 340.4 billion won. Even if Min Hee-jin was referring only to a single artist's performance, the claim is still inaccurate. Believe Lab, home to ENHYPEN and Islet, recorded 91.2 billion won in 2023 and around 151.4 billion won in 2024. Islet debuted in March 2024, so their revenue wasn't included. ENHYPEN alone generated 151.4 billion won, higher than New Jeans' 110.3 billion won. When Min Hee-jin frames ADOR's revenue as the money I earned, like 매출을 내가라고 표현하는, that reflects a distorted view, the article points out. New Jeans generated that revenue, and creating New Jeans was not a one-person achievement. Facts. Point number 3. HYBE's audit was illegal. What company makes its audits public? Fact. Completely false. Last month, Yongsan Police issued a no-charges decision for former HYBE CEO Park Ji-won and CCO Park Tae, who had been accused of violating the Information and Communications Network Act. The police concluded there was no evidence they exceeded their authority by checking Min Hee-jin's work email. So, yeah, they were innocent. The court also accepted the audit-secured emails and messages as key evidence. In the October ruling on the New Jeans exclusive contract case, the court admitted a substantial portion of Min Hee-jin's emails and messages as legitimate evidence. Min Hee-jin claimed these were illegal materials and insisted she had no chance to object, but this is unfounded. The reason 80% of the ruling mentioned her name is because every allegation raised by the New Jeans members, like album manipulation, mistreatment, plagiarism claims, stemmed from her. The court also stated these allegations lacked evidence. As for public disclosure, HYBE has never officially announced ADOR-related audit findings to the press. Number 4. The judge told reporters not to write about what she said in the KCulture conversations. Why do you vote Democratic? Fact is false. If Min Hee-jin's claim were true, the court would have violated press freedom. What the judge actually said was, even if reporters write about it, the judiciary bears no responsibility. That is a completely different statement. Yeah, and I'm assuming that this journalist, attended the hearing because I heard that there were a lot of journalists who were there in person. But Min Hee-jin, as always, tried to distort even what the judge said. Number 5. HYBE offered me a 2-month producer position. Oh my god, she's still saying this? Fact, not true. ADOR's final proposal was for Min Hee-jin to remain as producer until New Jeans' exclusive contract ends in July 2029. And yeah, I have already talked about that in multiple videos. If you want to find what they actually said, if you go to the court document, ADOR versus New Jeans, the final court document, you can actually see the email that ADOR's executives wrote to Min Hee-jin, saying that, they wrote a kind email to Min Hee-jin explaining the situation. But she was the one who turned it down. Number 6. I was cleared of breach of trust. Fact. Half true, half false. Yongsan Police issued a no charges decision last July regarding the breach of trust complaint against Min Hee-jin, but HYBE filed an objection, and at the prosecution's request, the case was reopened and is under re-investigation. The breach of trust allegation is central to Min Hee-jin's high-stakes legal battle with HYBE over the termination of their shareholder agreement and the 26.5 billion won put option payment. Documents prepared by Min Hee-jin's close associates, titled Project 1945 and HYBE's 7 Deadly Sins, and her outreach to investors are key points under scrutiny. And I have heard that the police probably didn't do a good job, going through the case thoroughly. And the Korean police, they don't have that good reputation for doing a thorough job, especially in cases like this, very complicated case like this. All right. What else did she say? Let me just quickly go through this article written by Lee Jung-gu. I'm not gonna read you the whole thing, and I'm not gonna translate you the whole thing. Denying that she has any greed for money. PR, criticizing the PR and the media and the political. She's saying that everything is distorted, everything is edited. HYBE bears 100% responsibility. She's saying that she has not directly contacted New Jeans members lately. Oh, yeah. I wonder. Actually, no. What else? OK Records denying that she doesn't have any employees. Okay. She denied that again because in court, after denying it, she said that the person who sent the press materials to the journalist was her employee. Paradoxical, hypocritical, and then she's saying that she wants to create a new management procedure in the industry and revisions to the contract. Wow. All right. And I heard that she referred to like biblical passages, like Old Testament, because in one of the public talk shows last year, was it a Hyundai Card event? She said she was a Christian and this is all God's plan, like making her stronger or something, which is very hypocritical because of her behaviors and her reliance on the shaman. And what else? Yeah, and she also said, I heard, that last year because of HYBE's media play and all the allegations against her, she come so close to making 극단적 선택, referring to suicide, meaning that she thought about that option, but she ended up not because she had no reason to do so. And I hated it when Lee Jung-gu tried to weaponize the possibility of suicide when the entire Korean public sentiment went against New Jeans after the members had that interview with, was it BBC or the Times magazine, or both of them, or BBC, where they said that this is the reality of the Korean society after losing the legal battle against ADOR, right? They said that this is the reality of with the Korean society, and they're turning us into revolutionaries. I remember, after seeing how angry the public got at New Jeans members for saying that, this journalist, Lee Jung-gu, said something like, I don't understand why the public is going so crazy over New Jeans. Have they already forgotten about Kim Se-ron, who's a celebrity who took her own life, unfortunately, last year or the year before. And I think it's pretty similar to what Min Hee-jin was trying to get at. What she said today and what she said last year. She made that exact same statement last year during their first press conference, referring to like how HYBE almost forced into suicide. And ironically, well, and this is might be a coincidence, and I'm not trying to reach any conclusion, but the infamous suicide cases in the entertainment industry, especially like the major K-pop artists, 2 of the cases came from SM Entertainment, and both of those artists are a part of the groups that Min Hee-jin was responsible for. I'm not saying that she's responsible for the tragedies, but maybe that, tells us about the culture and environment that she was part of. But here, it's very, sickening that how she's trying to bring that up, even the concept of suicide. All right, let me show you some of the public responses, the commenters. Oh, in response to Lee Jung-kook's article, people wrote these. You are the one who started the media play first, though. Seriously ridiculous. She used those idols for her own money chase. Nothing more, nothing less. Maybe I missed something, another person wrote. Has HYBE ever done media play even once? As far as I know, it was always Min Hee-jin who ran to the press. And people aren't watching this trial for fun. They're simply curious how it will end when a hired executive tries to take a rising group and start her own company with them. People care about seeing wrongdoing punished. Another person, please create your boy group using your own money. And like you said, shorten the contract to 3 years. Then, if that boy group pays off all your investment early and asks to go to another company, make sure you coolly let them go. Last comment. She's the one who did all the media play. Unbelievable. Now, major news media outlets made videos, like news videos about her live stream on YouTube. And let me read you some of the top comments. Oh, okay. Let me read you some comments from the live stream itself, the actual live stream. This person wrote, the more she goes to court and the more she gives interviews like this, trying to flip the situation, the worse the public opinion gets. She keeps making reckless moves. She has no one around her giving advice. And even if someone did, she's not the type to listen anyway. People like her usually have zero sense of reality. Another person. I don't mind that they invited Min Hee-jin, but if you're going to bring her on as a guest, at least study the case properly beforehand. What's the point of inviting her if you just hand her a few pre-written questions and let her talk however she wants? She might as well just upload this on her own YouTube channel. True. They should have organized the main issues and asked tougher, more precise questions. It was disappointing that neither the writers, nor the reporters, nor the host pushed her on the details. Yeah, there were some reporters, like the journalists, who appeared during the live stream, the program. It makes me wonder whether the guest lineup of this program even reflects the production team's intent. I'm not saying they should have brought her on to argue, but if they invited her, it's because there were things they wanted to hear or segments they wanted to use for the broadcast. None of that came through. It just felt like they gave her a microphone. She already does that on social media all the time. The only impression I got from this broadcast is that she came on because she wanted to win over Chung Young-jin, who's a host during the live stream. And from what I saw, Chung Young-jin didn't agree with her or fall for it. Her lies aren't even worth listening to. If I think about it from the angle of protecting Chung Young-jin, I cannot help wondering whether her appearance itself was preconditioned on avoiding the hard questions. I guess this person is like a true subscriber of that channel, who watches the channel's contents often. All right, JTBC News. They also uploaded a news video about it. Yeah, this one is where the caption says, or the thumbnail says that, by nature, I cannot be a conservative. So in court, she says she doesn't remember, but here, her memories suddenly come flooding back. Amazing, this person wrote. Does she still not realize that the more she talks, the worse it gets for her? Next person. This is unbelievable, LOL. They seriously put this kind of nonsense on the news? Next person. She could just say, I did, or I didn't. Why is she so long-winded? The question was simple. And yes, long-winded is a perfect word to describe her way of talking. And it was like that last year during her press conference as well. Next one. JTBC invites someone who's currently on trial, hands her a microphone for a solo interview, and then broadcast it on their news. Truly transparent, I see. Yeah, I heard that this channel, 장르만 여의도, is affiliated with JTBC. And I think that's why that person wrote the comment. Next person. Every time she opens her mouth is another lie. I guess that's a skill too, or talent too. Another video. YTN, one of the major broadcasters, Korean media agencies, posted this video with a thumbnail. I have not earned any money while at HYBE. Let's see. In court, she threw a fit saying she didn't remember anything, and now look at her, LOL. She's in serious condition. Not even the court can fix this. She needs psychiatric inpatient treatment as soon as possible. And, I mean, that reminds me of one of the thoughts that I had, that she might be truly believing in her own lies, you know? Another comment. Let's be real. Didn't Min Hee-jin basically use New Jeans for her own game? The three members, the three jeans, held out with conditions. Then right before the first ruling was finalized, only 2 members agreed to return. Then she rushed to send a text 30 minutes before ADOR announced it. The 3 members sent the text 30 minutes before ADOR announced it, and 1 member is still in Antarctica and hasn't even come back yet. How is it that HYBE splitting them up? The host didn't know enough to challenge her properly. If someone knowledgeable had been there, she would have been destroyed with 1 rebuttal. She has some nerve, seriously. Next person. She says so many things, but is even 1 spoonful of it true? Hard to tell. There should have been an explanation about the attempted takeover of the company. If a Samsung affiliate CEO said, I generated good revenue, so I'm going to take this company for myself, do you think Lee Jae-yong, the boss, the ultimate boss of Samsung, do you think Lee Jae-yong would just sit there? Of course, there will be audits and verification process. She started the entire mess, and now she's conveniently leaving out the part she caused. Next person. Min Hee-jin is the one doing more of the dividing. She's basically an adult blocking the paths of these young kids. Next one. Wow, Min Hee-jin is still doing media play. Even objectively, she got caught trying to swallow the company. The KCulture messages are digital evidence. Meanwhile, her defense, Sejong, has nothing but emotional appeals. Some things she doesn't remember, other things she remembers perfectly. Selective memory with zero evidence. How is anyone supposed to believe her? Release the digital evidence. Last one. The reason Eugene ended up like this is Min Hee-jin, not HYBE. Why is she attacking HYBE? HYBE was the one who said from the start that Eugene shouldn't be dragged into this. And how exactly would ADOR be the one dividing them? It was the 5 members who had different opinions. She just keeps pushing this public opinion war nonstop. Alright, let me read you one more set of comments posted under the comment section of this video. SBS News uploaded this one. Oh, interesting. So JTBC, YTN, and SBS, but not NBC. Okay. Thumbnail says, "You're calling me a witch where I made money?" Comments. "Looks like she ignored everything the judge said. Completely went in one ear and out the other. I just don't like her as a person." Next, "She should have just kept quiet and stepped back on her own." Next, Min Sung-il. Yeah, Min Sung-il is a sarcastic mashup of Min Hee-jin and An Sung-il, who tried to take away, what is this? Sorry. An Sung-il. The 50-50 members. This guy. And according to Dispatch, I don't know how they figured out, Min Hee-jin hates being compared to An Sung-il. Because didn't she say, according to the evidence in one of the KCulture conversations, she said to like one of her executives saying something like, "Do people really think that we're as stupid as An Sung-il or something?" I remember that. I gotta look into that. Min Hee-jin, An Sung-il. Yeah, it says that Min Hee-jin hates that nickname, Min Sung-il. Anyways, next. So that person compared Min Hee-jin to An Sung-il again. Next, isn't earning money for the company the basic responsibility of any employee? Oh, so that's a direct jab at this thumbnail and what she talked about in this video, SBS video. They really raised a tiger. Okay, so that means that so bad that Pang Seok hired her and let her grow within the company, raising a tiger. 호랑이를 키웠다. The woman who appeared on that divorce reflection cam show and Min Hee-jin are exactly the same. Creepiest part is both were on JTBC. Okay, so JTBC has this TV show where they feature like a couple about to divorce, and then they bring them in and they match with like celebrities and lawyers, and they have like a simulated like a court case or something. It's for entertainment. And I think I know exactly who this person is talking about because I watched one of the episodes. I do not really watch that, but my friend was watching it the other day, last week. So, I watched it. And that person, really reminded me of Min Hee-jin. And I actually said it out loud. Oh my God, that woman, so much like Min Hee-jin. The way she was gaslighting her own kid and like that, and her own husband. Min Hee-jin, by the way, isn't married and she doesn't have kids. All right, next comments. I saw the abyss. Next, wow, she must have no shame at all. Next, she's scary. Next comment. How would Min Hee-jin have earned a single one without Source Music investing 21 billion won and without debut-ready trainees? LOL. True. Good point. Next one, last one. Hae-in and Hye-in can be refunded. Refunded, meaning they can return. But, so they're calling them by nicknames like 쌀국수, 칼국수, Marathon. And Min Hee-jin are strictly non-refundable, referring to the 3 members. Hani, Danielle, and Minji and Min Hee-jin cannot return. So, overall, across YouTube and news comment sections, the overwhelming sentiment is sharply negative toward Min Hee-jin. And that's exactly why I decided to show you and read you these comments. I, sorted by like top comments, and these were the first comments that I saw when I clicked on the videos. Meaning, her media play did not work. And people are saying that maybe she ran out of her money. Like what happened to all the bots that she allegedly hired last year, during and immediately after her press conference, and the way she, manipulated the public narrative. It's not working. Well, mind you, Korean people are not that stupid. Yeah. Also, many people are smart enough to point out the contradiction between her courtroom statements, where she said, "I don't remember," like 1,000 times, and her detailed claims in interviews. And others criticize her for relying on emotional appeals instead of evidence, dismissing responsibility, and repeatedly framing herself as a victim despite digital records and court admitted messages contradicting her narrative. And mind you, last year, while she was doing the press conference, people weren't able to read the court documents. Now people can, And a recurring theme is that she continues to push a one-sided public opinion battle while avoiding direct answers to key allegations, such as the attempted takeover of ADOR, the tampering accusations, or her own KakaoTalk messages. And commenters also reject her claim that HYBE is splitting the members, arguing that the internal disagreements among the 5 New Jeans members were already evident. And several viewers question JTBC, like the platform, for giving her a platform without pressing her on factual details. And others say that she still hasn't acknowledged the core issue, that the conflict began when she attempted to separate the group and form her own agency. And according to her KakaoTalk conversations, that plan began years ago, even before New Jeans debuted. So, and even before ADOR was established. So overall, the public sees her media appearances as tone-deaf, self-contradictory, and increasingly damaging to her own credibility. So at this point, I'm not sure who she's trying to convince. You know what I'm saying? I mean, her followers, the people who are still supporting her, there's no way they cannot escape from their own confirmation bias at this point. So they're hopeless. So what she's trying to do? Basically, try to strengthen and reinforce their confirmation bias for her own supporters? Is that gonna help? I'm not seeing it that way. So overall, I don't know. What do you think? I think her recent interview, it reads like an attempt to reshape the narrative, right? After a series of unfavorable courtroom moments. But the way she handles her claims only deepens distrust. And she is positioning herself as someone who remembers nothing under oath, yet recalls every detail when facing a camera. And she repeatedly insists that HYBE holds 100% of the responsibility, like 100%, not even like 90%, 100, meaning that she has zero responsibility, while sidestepping the very actions that led to the dispute, namely investor outreach and internal persuasion attempts, and the structural plan that sparked suspicion of a management takeover in the first place. And instead of clarifying these points, she leans heavily on conspiracy language, dismissing incriminating evidence as frames or illegal audits, even though the court and police already deemed those materials lawfully obtained and accepted them as evidence. So, yeah, this approach makes her sound less like someone trying to resolve a conflict and more like someone trying to overwhelm the whole conversation with selective outrage. And her claim that HYBE split the members, that rings hollow, right? And I'm pretty sure she appeared in this interview to say that, But it rings hollow when the timeline shows that the divide emerged within the group itself. At the same time, she avoids addressing how her own messaging and behavior place the members in the center of a corporate fight. So, if she wanted to turn public opinion, she needed transparency and evidence. But she had none of that. Instead, she offered lengthy monologues, shifting narratives, and selective memory. And that gap between what she says in court and what she says online and what the documented evidence shows is precisely why the public response has turned so decisively against her. All right. Before I leave you guys with questions, fun facts, the Feedback Studio, which has made an announcement about OK Records audition schedules a few weeks ago. It's interesting. The day after I made a video about it, I made a video about it because I saw people talking about it. And very conveniently, they have made an announcement today saying that the demand of the applicants was so high, higher than we expected, explosively high. So we decided to close the application. And for those of you who successfully submitted their applications, we will send you emails about the plans and schedules about the auditions. And we will try hard so that all the applicants can be judged fairly. Thank you. We'll see how many people will participate in the audition. Not that I care. I might forget about it. Also, Min Hee-jin uploaded these stuff on her social media, Instagram, through Instagram story. I guess her fan drew this, so she added a caption. 감사합니다. Thank you. Wow. And then, another supporter. HYBE Hee-jin. What is this? Snowman. Also built by her follower, I'm assuming. 대표님. Okay. Calling her CEO. 화이팅. Like fighting. 대표님. Someone even messaged her. Oh, with that snowman. 오늘 가디건 입은 대표님이에요. This is you wearing what you wore today. Oh. Like. And then she wrote, 와, artistic하시다. Wow, you're so artistic in response. Yeah. So if you're a fan of Min Hee-jin, if you send her a DM with kind messages, she might respond to you. But doesn't this just prove that all the self-claimed bunnies are basically Min Hee-jin supporters? They are not true fans. They were fans of Min Hee-jin. And this is just hilarious. She's trying so hard to show to the world that she's got all these supporters. But what good does it do? All right, there we go. What do you guys think? After watching her latest interview or hearing about it through this video that you just watched, do you think she actually clarified anything, or did she only create more confusion around the case? And how did her I don't remember in court, but I remember everything on YouTube. The stance come across to you? And which part of her narrative feels the least convincing now that the court has already accepted the KCulture messages and emails as evidence? And do you think she's helping or harming New Jeans by continuing to wage this public opinion battle? And lastly, based on all these Korean comments you saw, was there anything that surprised you? Any parts that you do not necessarily agree with? Let me know your thoughts by writing the comments in the comment section. And as always, let's stay positive, respectful, and classy as always. Thank you guys. Peace and love. Bye-bye.